going on, guys? How are you again? So I'm actually driving home, so I thought I'd make a video. But what I want to talk about is, I guess, more on the economic side, but it also relates to stuff like e-commerce, getting a job, starting your own company, everything in general. And what I want to discuss, look at this jackass. Come on, why are you going to do that? But, sorry, I should calm down. But what I want to talk about is finding your competitive and comparative advantage. Now, these are concepts of economics, and it's very important because they apply to you guys as well, because as an entrepreneur, each of you is your own business or your own entity. Hopefully, you know you're smart enough to realize that at this point in time. You are your own brand and business. So all of you are under the laws of economics, surprisingly. So each of you has advantages and disadvantages, and we're talking now in terms of productivity and gains. Some of you, as your own company, how you operate yourself, it doesn't matter if you're working a job, if you're working your own company, but let's say hypothetically you're in your own company, you're wearing 10 different hats. You guys are trying to start e-commerce. Let's say you're doing e-commerce. I think that'll keep it simple and more pinpointed. You have how you use your time. Is it going to be finding items, listing the items, or advertising? Or is it going to be advertising or doing research? Where is your advantage? Because if you think about it, if you're spending time researching the best products to sell, finding the best suppliers, or now versus advertising, each one of those takes up time, and each one of those is going to produce a result, essentially. So let's say you researching leads you to find 10 different products that all are low niches that you're able to sell for more money, reduces competition. Or so it gets you pretty much, we equate it to researching helps you bring in 10 extra sales a month at $20 a sale. That's $200. Or now let's say marketing, by you spending that same amount of time marketing, you find out, hey, I'm able to actually bring in 50 more sales at $20 a month, which is now bringing me $1,000 a month extra versus finding the product. So now, necessary to your company, like e-commerce, you need to be researching and advertising at the same time. Oh, this could have been the first time this trick might have not worked for me. But that being said, you get to see which one is your advantage. Clearly, if you're making more money off of marketing, it's clear marketing is your advantage. We would say that's actually your comparative advantage. So we'll talk about competitive advantage. I'm not going to get too deep into the terms, but hopefully you can see where it's coming from, because the point I want to describe to you guys is to become more productive and more useful. And even to the point of working with people, playing on your strengths, knowing how to do them, and working with the right people. This whole competitive advantage thing, this is partly why I created the TTF, because with the trading fraternity, the beauty of it, I have so many people, I've taught the business, I've taught them fundamentals, everybody's growing, learning, they have information to get better off of, build a foundation. Beyond that, however, everybody has their own special skills and talents. So that's where we're able to build empires, fill voids in companies, and become very powerful as a whole. Because now, imagine I'm doing this, so I realize, I say, hey, I'm better at marketing. I'm able, my efforts, if I spend the same amount of time marketing as I would researching products, I'm adding 50 more sales a month. So you know what I'm gonna do? If that's where I'm advantageous, I'm gonna put all my efforts into marketing. So now, instead of handling anything else, I'm going to handle all my efforts into marketing. And now what I'm going to do is go find somebody who has a comparative advantage in the same regards as I do. So then I would go find somebody who's better at listing items than marketing products. And I'd say, hey, listen, bud, when you list your products and you research, you're finding out that you're bringing in an extra 100 sales a month. But then when you're marketing, your marketing's only bringing you 5 sales a month. So this is what we're gonna do. You handle my research, I'll handle your marketing. We could either work together in one company, or we handle both of our separate companies. I give you the marketing, and you do now my research for products. Everybody's a win-win. You both are going to be able to excel, and you both will, it sucks if you're competitors. Hopefully you guys are in different spaces, but like I said, in the trading fraternity, best part is that I find people who have the comparative advantages in other places, and we just partner up together, and everybody makes money. No one's competing against each other. So again, that's why you also have to be careful. That's why I'm saying when I give you guys some of these tips with e-commerce, what sucks is why I'm not giving you a lot of these videos. If I break down to you what I'm doing, it's going to limit my competitive advantage. And also, you guys are just going to have more competition, and your competition is going to be better, and it's going to price a lot of you guys at the market. So there's that downside. But like we're saying, back to the example, I find that guy, he could find the products and list the products to bring in 100 extra more sales a month. He sucks at marketing. Boom, we switch. So now all my day's efforts are going towards marketing. All of his day's efforts are going towards just finding the products and listing them. We now are both completely, let's assume there's not other factors in the company, but there is, but the same philosophy applies. But now, essentially at the end of it, both of our times are being used better. I'm now more productive, and we are both more profitable, and our productivity is both increased. We are now listing more products, we're getting more sales, and the products are more defined. So it's crazy because this is how economics works, because not only is every producer happy, I'm happy, the guy I'm working with is happy, but so is the consumer, because now the consumer's getting the product they want, and they're getting them researched, and they're at better prices, and obviously they're buying from you because they fulfill demand, or it's cheaper to buy with you than anywhere else. So everybody wins, and that's how a flourishing economic system functions. So giving you guys that, what I'm really trying to say to you is find your comparative advantage, or also competitive advantage. I'll make that in a separate video if you guys like this, but we're focusing here on comparative advantage, which is pretty much how you could find the overall, we call this a net gain from trade, because by you focusing on marketing, you're not making a gain off of marketing, you're making a net gain off of the trade by being able to trade your marketing resources to that person who doesn't need it, and in return you're getting a higher gain of another service or product. That's where the real gain is, which is now helping you to market more, helping you to sell more, etc. So where I want you guys to realize, and because this is what I'm trying to tell you guys as entrepreneurs, as coming into what you guys are good at, or to making money, find what you're good at and go from there. Don't waste your time, don't waste your productivity working on the stuff you're not good at, because as you'll see from opportunity cost in anything, you'll spend 5 hours just trying to get one sale or to accomplish one thing, when if you simply focused on the thing that you could bump out 1,000 of and just simply worked on that, guess what you're going to be able to do? You could trade with somebody who could do the other stuff, and boom, your comparative advantage is found, and now you will be able to become more productive, and see a net gain from trade on all of your endeavors. So that's where I want you guys to focus on. You guys want to be better, you want to do good, find what you're good at, find what you get a comparative advantage of, what can you produce better and faster than other things, and that's where hopefully you guys see. Only way you're going to figure that out is by knowing your brand, your business, and all of the multifaceted parts, and what parts are functioning to make it work. Because obviously, even something like e-commerce, it goes beyond just marketing and selling. There's many different aspects. So you got to be able to find what you're the best at, and start narrowing it down, and then finding both people you could work with or people you trust to now start capitalizing on those comparative advantages and comparative gains. And that even leads into, I'll have to give the shameless plug to the trading fraternity, but that's why we have the trading fraternity from a networking business standpoint, so everybody could work together, and they're trustworthy, because that's the biggest part now too. Beyond finding your comparative advantage isn't the hard part all the time, but it's how do you exploit your comparative advantage and find somebody to work with and trade with, because that's the next thing, is finding a good business partner. How do you trust them? How do you go through the red tape to get the contracts, make sure they're not going to screw you? How do you know they're not going to just take your ideas and fuck you over? How do you know they're not going to be competition? That's where those bigger problems come in. So it's obviously easier said than done, but that's where going back to a group and being involved with a business organization and something that has a reputation, because again, there's a lot of there's groups of Forex people and this and that, but you can see the stuff that started out there. Every single person in the trading fraternity They fill out an application. We do background checks on them. They've been in the program for at least 3 months with me. There's a certain level of vetting and a certain thing that people could lose. It's not just you pay a monthly fee, you're in, boom. So that's one of those things. But again, we'll even talk about that too, of just who you're working with now on the next part, because understanding comparative advantage is easy. Understanding how you can find it in your business and how to take advantage, a little bit more difficult, and then implementing it, that's the hard part, because now that comes down to the fact of the matter, finding a partner, building with that partner, and making sure your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed. So I'll leave you guys with that. It's a pretty simple concept, but very powerful if you understand it. It relates to the whole economics and business world of things, so it would be very great if you guys got it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Let me know what you think. Stay in school. Love you all. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, share. Yo. All right, peace out.